Welcome back to another stream of consciousness. So, I like to start with a through line topic and answer questions around that. So, if you're watching this afterwards, that's what this is. So there are comments that do not show up post post live. So, again, a through line topic that I'll continue to go back to, a through line rant, and we answer questions around that. So, tell me who you are, what's going on, anything about you. Click the add a comment and say something. So today's through line rant, reversing anxiety and depression and other sort of cultural disorders in certain cases with magic plant medicine and yoga. So what if it was this simple? What if simply introspecting into the automatic micro-hypocrisies that limit our ability to evolve was all it took to absolve those things because of the witnessing of the magnitude of truth? What if the truth was so good that it eradicated the falsehood of our mind, and it was okay to surrender to that, surrender to a greater version of ourselves that requests this change of us and requires a great will. Love you too, Grayson. What's up? Sorry, I can't see. There we go. Love you too, Caleb. So, again, through line topic, answer questions around that. What's up? What's going on? So, the effects of magic plant medicine are things that we can attain even in a sober state of mind. So we're replicating the introspective insights in our daily lives, the way that we're thinking under the effects of these things, how we're choosing to look at the world, right? The way that we look at the world shapes how we evolve. It shapes how we feel, and how we feel paints our entire reality. It creates an entirely new person. You make different decisions based on the way that you feel. So the number one influencing factor of your life is the way that you feel. And there are intentional impacts that you can do to your body that make it stronger, that fortify it, and allow you to handle anything. Everything is figure outable. Your brain is more designed for failure than it is success. Right? And all of the information is in the present moment. When you remember something, you're activating that neurology. You're bringing the past into the present. So even the past is in the present, even the future is in the present. So the prime orientation is to accept everything as it is and do your best. Right? The 4 agreements. Do your best, don't take anything personally, be impeccable with your word, and don't make assumptions. We got them all this time. And welcome, everyone. You're free to drop a topic or a question or anything about you. I don't know who you are. I don't know who I'm talking to. So we could go from man slowly going insane in his car to interesting topic that you would like to hear about at your command. Do I have any advice for not following unhealthy behavioral patterns? So you're already self-aware of them. And that's the first step. Be self-aware, accept them, and make the silent/difficult change. How can you challenge it? How can you strengthen it? How can you, take a difficult action to become proud of yourself? Feeling proud of yourself sort of instills a sort of confidence and strength permanently. So, you know that you're not following it, so that's a decision. There's nothing wrong with you. The 144,000. Is that are those the light workers or the indigo children, or what is all of that? The most automatic usually. Yes, it is a battle. It definitely is. It's a war we fight. And we have to fight for ourselves. And you can win. So it's not a fight that you can't win, but it can feel like that. The woeful request of cosmic mercy. What's up, Ember? Good to see ya. I saw you left hearts the other day. Forgot to say hello. Lots of theories. Curious of what I think. People pleasing at the highest order, even when we are bitten by a wolf again and again. Yes. Patterns of behavior that we're afraid to escape because we don't know what's on the other side of evolving. Making the hard change. What if? So it's closing soul felt want and realization and revelation and joy. It's closing the gap between that and action. What fills that delta is all of our anxieties, worries, and woes and what-if scenarios, the incessant simulations that limit our movement in reality, right? There's a series of steps from your position right now to your greatest dreams. So you already have your answer. It's just scary. And then when we make the hard change, the joy that we experience on the other side is way better than anything we could have tried to run away and get. I think that's why they say gratitude, my friend Drew, is so powerful. Because we already have so many things that are great around us that we can use as a starting point to pursue what we want. So we should be grateful for what we have while we pursue what we want. And I think that's the power of it. And remembering good things more. Focusing less energy on paradigms that don't serve us, like that. Who has a kiddo? Spectrum. So I don't have much experience necessarily in the household, but I would say try an infinite amount of things, his natural and serve his natural attractions. So I think a basic understanding, or to my basic understanding, I would say that there's an attraction response and a resistance response. So I don't know how to measure subjective quality of happiness or a subjective amount of needs met, but I would say it's a lifelong journey. And in a way, when we try many things, statistically some of them will hit, and the ones that hit are everything. So it makes everything that didn't work compile into something greater. Book recommendations. Sure, so Prometheus Rising, The Mind Illuminated, Power versus Force, New Energy Ways version 2, advancedyogapractices.org or aypsite.org. Yeah. And on my site, you can find my book. So in my book, it contains a free book, like a link to a Google Drive. And that's also on my quick start guide, free book. And yeah. Do I have extra abilities from meditation? So I wouldn't say permanent extra abilities, but experiences of abilities. You know, things where there was no way that it could not have been supernatural. And, you know, again, I don't know who I'm talking to. So, how are you rolling right now? If so, I'm rolling good, man. I'm rolling real good. Yes, this will be saved. It will. So, since psilocybin and THC magnify your intelligence, they make you aware of more truths. And you have to cope with these truths because they have implications on the navigation of your life. What identity you choose to create, what actions you choose to take when no one's looking, what you're actually doing and what you're actually experiencing. You confront it all. You cannot ignore it. So these substances are sacred in that way, in that it's not spiritual bypassing or psychosis. It's the magnitude of truth and the delta of our ability to adhere to it. Closing that gap is done with spiritual practice. Sincere, authentic acceptance of oneself. Money. So money comes from the exchange of value. So choose a skill that you wake up every day and you wish you had. Become obsessed with it. Find your obsession. You know, screw passion. What are you obsessed with? That's something you'll do every single day. And when you do it every single day, you can give value that no one else can give. And if people are looking for something that they're not finding and you're it, money comes from that. And that comes from anything from t-shirts to any sort of skilled labor or just whatever niche thing that you really like to do that you can exchange, that another human finds valuable enough to give you $5. It's a psychological flip, right? Someone goes from seeing object to investigating to follow through. Something triggered them to give you money. And then when you have enough money, get really good at analyzing information, coping with the psychology of the stock market, and you should be good. And then as a hobby, not as a main investment thing, look at crypto. So, yeah, unfortunately, we have to deal with money in the current state of society, but if you want my take on it, if you become valuable to your neighbor, you know, if you're just an excellent team member, emotionally intelligent, you can find an opportunity to live and find some sort of dream life in a community. That's where we're headed. The abandonment of the of the real estate regime, the cultivation of food forests in combination with solar punk technologies to transition the average American into a state of immense abundance and quality. You know, we see the diets change, we see intelligence raise. We see people with more time on their hands to create and evolve. You know, instead of working at something like McDonald's or just McDonald's existing, stuff like that. And I use it, it's probably a stereotype, but that's okay. Stereotype. Am I speaking? So, saving the world is, you can do it tomorrow, right? You can plant a tomato. You can create a food garden. My proposed solution to solve world hunger is to create these food gardens. So replanting 1/7 of the lawns in America for $2 million, and just giving these people the gardens, right? It grows all the food for the community and then some, and then some you can use for bartering. My tomatoes for your bananas. You know, what goes around comes around. Ancient human nature. Everyone thrives because we're all serving each other. We serve the land serves us, we serve each other. And that's how it goes. So, things like that. Man. Anyway, I see that new people are here. Welcome. You're free to drop a topic, a question, anything you think I could speak on. Feedback, criticism. Hey, you should do this, or I thought this, whatever. How to love oneself, but not attach to self. There's a balance in everything. You know, what comes to mind when you think of things that you're doing to love yourself? So I would think not be so hard on yourself. You know, get into flow states. Find a hobby or a thing you like to read or study or do, and just have fun. Have fun with yourself. Take yourself on a walk. Eat something nice. Think of a gift that you would give yourself if you were another person, and then go out and get it. Show yourself that you can love yourself. Make it not so hard by doing one simple thing that makes you think, I love myself today. You know. I should do a backflip. I wish I could. How to have more discipline. Yeah. So this was my trigger word for so long. I'm sure it is for many. D word. Discipline. You know, one simple challenge. Alter 15 minutes of your day instead of taking up an entire new workout routine or changing your entire life, or 12 habits that fix your entire world. Choose one small challenge, overcome it. You know, my favorite is the cold shower. I'm a simp for the cold shower. Because you're confronting your will. Oh, I don't want to do it, I'm shaking. And then you're making yourself do it. It's like a rep of discipline. And it only takes 30 seconds, you know. Timer starts in the shower, 30 seconds out. Okay. So do a spinning motion. So you want to make all of your blood cold at the same time. So you don't want to sit there with just your head. You know, you want to get the entire body cold, then do your head. And by the time you do that, you know, you could probably work soap in there at some point. Thanks, young playa. What's up? I want to go to Mexico one day. Yeah. So how to have more discipline. So what do you want to accomplish? Do you want a six pack? Is it physique? Is it weight loss? If it's weight loss, it's literally just eat less. That's the modern advice. It's down to just fast. It's not keto. It's because keto is just fasting in a way. It's not any of these things. It's take vitamins, do mushrooms, don't eat. What's up? Good day to Australia, mate. What's up, Noah? Yes. Oh my gosh, I realized my air has been blowing. That sucks. Yes. The dopamine and serotonin release from cold showers lasts the entire day. So this is fascinating. The subject. Okay, so the literal quantity, the amount of dopamine in your blood is directly commensurate to your subjective feeling of motivation. So have you ever felt motivated? That's dopamine in your blood. And this is sort of a jerry-rigged applied understanding of it instead of like Huberman style, right? If you know this guy, like it's jerry-rigged so that you can apply it to your life. So just think of it that way. How can I impact my body to release a chemical that affects my subjective sense of reality? Why, when I breathe in a chemical, am I suddenly smarter, more creative, and want to do things? Right? It's a chemical game. And acknowledging the cyclical neurochemical explosion of our identity and perception of reality does not take away from any notion of a metaphysical essence that goes beyond our body and collects memories over eternity to influence our propensities, the things that we like and we want to do. And yeah, very. Yeah, caught me. But it works, right? Just go with it. Mm-hmm. Isn't it fun? How to make negative, intrusive thoughts stop? By not resisting them. So, intrusive thoughts mean that you have a solid handle on your morals and ethics. You wouldn't recognize it as intrusive if it was something that was going to negatively affect you. So you know that you wouldn't jump off of a cliff. It's present, and if we resist it, it remains because we give it a reality. So it's a thought that we're giving energy and sustaining. The next part of the practice is not worrying about if you're doing that too much or not. It's about gently returning to the present moment. So meditation is sort of a focused practice of that, of what you're inevitably going to have to do during the day to cope with something. So you sit there with the intrusive thoughts, you allow them to be, say okay, and you're gently returning to the present moment. Or even frustration is a very subtle chosen mental action, and it's really tempting to feed into, to turn into anger and resistance and running away. So through meditation we master our orientation around the inevitable. Thanks, Izzy. That means a lot. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Again, if you're new, I don't know how many people are in or out. If you want to drop a topic, a question, something, anything. What is your spirituality like? What have you done to ascend your consciousness? And how has it felt? What do I think of sex? Should we be celibate? I think that you should make the decision based on being informed about certain things, the sciences behind certain things, what it does to your brain, your perception of sex, your perception of the opposite sex. For males, at least, exhausting that energy can exhaust certain other energies and damage parts of your confidence, your drive, your creativity. So if the urge is there, then it's not being used in those respects, which are places that you can work on yourself in. Being more driven, motivated, creative, and more physically active, developing your body. And then, do what you gotta do, right? And just be aware of those things, the physiology of it, the mindset. And if you're not sure, don't do it. Dabble in physical practices. It doesn't. It's just a natural. It's a natural release. It's like, it's releasing pressure off of the valves. So, there was too much of it. It's a natural cycle. They die. The passengers, do you think the passengers contributed to the crash? I don't know. I haven't read anything about that. That's a really cool question. I would say likely. I would say at least likely. How important is childhood? I mean, it grew you into adulthood. It was a necessary phase of your organismal development. Certain situations happen that impact who you are, what you choose to do, so on. You can parse into all of these and find out what isn't resonant with your truth, the truth of your natural self, who you want to be. And it's going to be okay. It's a past experience of very sensitive emotion, both in receptivity and activity, play and experience, emotional things, memory. So depends on what aspect of the childhood you mean. Relationships. As long as you're adhering as best you can to your own morals and ethics, as long as you're, well, I wouldn't say as long as you're, in relationships, mastering listening and waiting to respond, and I think is a great place to start. I think listening as hard as you can, and just, oh yeah, not as dramatic as that, but tell me more about anything, and find your place of genuine enthusiasm for what you can parse out of the other. And in times of trouble, realize it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about us coming together with our own unique life stories and finding a greater truth, creating a greater truth on the other side. How can we solve this problem without hurting each other? Coming out on the other side. It is possible, done through thorough listening, analysis, stepping into one another's shoes, being open-minded, and realizing it's not a fight every day for being ultimately right about one thing. It's where we get tribalism, you know. Semen retention is a key aspect of spirituality. It can be if you want to go that far. So realize that, this practice is called brahmachari. Brahmachari. The retention of this life force energy, whatever it was. Brahmachari. And so ancient spirituality was these dudes going off into caves, doing yoga every single day, just sitting there figuring things out about the nature of the universe, completely throwing themselves away, not acting in society, not doing anything, wanting anything, being anything, completely releasing the body, going into nirvana, and releasing semen is releasing a very expensive chemical, hormone, in your body. It's used for other things. So if you want to go that far, you can. Doing it every day habitually when you're not aroused, that's when it becomes a problem. And just master the 4-day time span and you're good. History will remember people like myself. That's insane, my friend. Thank you so much. Yes. Getting over addiction. You are more powerful. God, that was my mantra the other day. If you're praying to release people from suffering, are you rigging them of needed karmic lessons? Oh man. I'm not studied on the ethics of metaphysical ethics. But experiment. Is my praying every day messing up this person's life because I'm healing them? I think that's the question. What do I think about Sagittarius? I'm not well read on it. You're welcome, Francesco. The 4-day time span. Oh, it was 444. What's up, Emmy? Sorry, I missed you. A lot has happened. The 4-day time, yes. So, these things. And, yeah. You want to become so full of life that it doesn't really matter. You know, the ancient male he had that dog in him, guys. Right? This was, we extend from the animal kingdom in a way that what the animal kingdom thought, right, and is evident, we can see that biggest, strongest, most beautiful thing need to mate more than the less attractive. That was a horrible way of saying it. Just absolutely terrible. It was a male dominated animal kingdom. And so we have to flip that. We have to flip it into the balance of the divine feminine and the masculine. And we're way more powerful than we're led to believe. Yes, working out, more active behaviors, discipline in a way. And discipline, it's a word because it's a thing and it works, right? The rest is easy. Into the macrocosmic orbit. No. No problem, Robert. Happy to help. So I'm obsessed with this. This is what got me out of my depression. So a lot of you probably who are spiritually oriented have some sort of, creative intelligence. You're very sensitive, very smart. You have this desire to do something bigger. You have trouble creating that. You don't believe society's set up in this way. But with this intelligence, you can convince yourself of anything. So your mind in this way is your most versatile, what's the word? Adversary. Because you can convince yourself of anything. So the initial meditation is a complete rejustification of yourself. Not justifying your limiting beliefs based on experiences, but justifying the truth that you've seen and already hold. Yeah. Yeah, my friend. Yeah. Nothing's necessary. You don't want to make firm statements or conclusions about these practices because it can add pressure, it can add guilt if you don't uphold some sort of standard that you're setting for yourself. So it's all in the micro. It's all about the micro challenges against yourself that gradually evolve you. Not climbing Mount Everest right away, but climbing a hill every day. What's good, Henry? How are you? Is it true that authenticity is higher than love? I don't know. I think they're one and the same. Truly. You know, it goes all the way back to the fact that love, life, joy, it's a generative force. We only sleep for a third of the time that we're alive. The rest is for enjoyment and evolution. It can be clearly seen in all of nature. Nature lives for more seasons than it dies. It's the generative, infinite energy of everything. And I think the light is an eminence. It has the quality of eminence. It shines forward. and whatever shines forward evolves. There's movement to it. So authenticity, is coming as close to that source as possible. And that's in being ourselves, right? The most cliche advice in the world. But when you don't hear it as the cliche and you just act upon it and don't think about it retrospectively, then you're good. It won't be there. Thanks, Emmy. Yeah, LSD is wild. Don't know how to feel about it. It's more vibratory, I feel like, than natureful. Yeah. Move in spirit. Yep, that's it. Life is simple. And the challenge that you've undertaken is immense. You should be proud of yourself simply for existing. It wasn't an accident in most cases. But, well, in all cases. And then it goes to to our metaphysicality. The initial question, why did I come here? If I'm suffering, if it's hard, if I don't like it. And settling with that question is pretty much the first phase of spirituality, like higher level spirituality. Settling with that, it requires you settling with death, settling with death, settling with the nature of things. And again, this life is within the context of eternity, everything forever, and our life is inevitable. You can do anything, and you chose to do this. So you're on the precipice of your soul-felt's ability to manifest your greatest vision, your most beautiful creation. You are already a most beautiful creation, a standing idol of consciousness, a doll animated by the etheric emotion that has created our reality. I think Bashar came through. Yes. So peace is the first step to happiness, and then happiness is merely your subjective potentiation for joy, for experiences of joy-felt moments. So it's your orientation that matters the most, and peace is the prime orientation towards the potentiation of joy. And then the continuance of happiness. You're able to reflect in your mind intuitively, yeah, I'm happy. There's just an overload of memories that add up into this greatest self. You like it that much? That's great. Like 6 people said you're high AF earlier. So I was like, is that a good thing? Yeah, coping with the concept of eternity, coping with death, and then accepting that if you overcame certain challenges and it really worked out, you'd be like, yeah, I don't mind staying here. I don't mind being in this body. I don't mind being this fleshly organism on planet Earth in the middle of nothingness, and there's nowhere forever. Yeah. Ways to cope with chatter of the mind. Loosening your resistance against it. Practicing being incessant with it. Acting beyond it. Don't let it talk you out of doing something. Find the smallest thing that it's talking you out of doing and do it anyway. You prove it wrong. Just making the body feel good, right? The way that we feel in the body influences our decisions. It influences the way that we think, therefore who we're being in that moment. So we're a different self when we're in a different mood. Our mood is the totality of our chemistry. So what's floating in our blood that's giving us this acquiescent experience of life, right? We are more water than we are anything else. We're more electricity than we are any notion of ourselves. We're more the essence of the universe than we are anything that we think. So, therefore, the way that we feel on a consistent basis constructs our psychology to continue it. It's a chemical rhythm of our experience as a self. So working out, it increases the positive chemicals that subtly influence your ability to make more intelligent decisions. It makes you feel slightly better inside the body to add up into your evolution. And with any workout routine, it takes around 21 days to see the magnanimous life shift that it brings. On the micro, you feel better every single day. On the micro, you can see these little gains, but the shift comes from when you'd rather do it than not. That's what a habit is. A habit is the subjective sense of wanting to do something rather than not doing it. So it's objective and has nothing to do with your identity or something attached to your essence, like deservedness or undeservedness of a good life, of a good thing, or even the ability to live. So you just got to rock it into the body and then you're good for the rest of your life. What if it took 21 days to install a tool that you were going to use for the rest of your life? It would be a pretty sweet trade. What if God, that was God's mission to you, only mission to you, was do this hard thing and on the other side, it gives you more than you put into it. That's abundance. Abundance is everywhere. It's inside us, yada, yada. Anyway, welcome everyone new. You're feel free. Feel free to drop a topic or a question, something about you. What's your spirituality like? What do you want to experience in this realm? Yeah. So the through line topic that I keep going back to is the totality of our chemistry and doing things to our body to affect our chemistry, witnessing the result of that, and then continuing to do it because we see that it works. We have to gain validation from the things that we're doing, otherwise we wouldn't continue to do them. It would just be some other quick trick 9 out of 10 doctors hate. Atlantis? Oh, I really want to believe. I'm like, I don't know, 98.6% sure it was a thing. Best book on abundance? I don't know. None. I've only read like 7 books in my entire life. And they've all been around the same topic. The Mind Illuminated is the #1 guide for meditation. So stage 1 of meditation is installing the habit. And my version of meditation, it's never been 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, which is like the standard in the community. But it's been like an on-the-fly one, just thinking about it all day. Self-improving, introspecting all day. Accepting the present moment as it is. So, Your body, like your physiology, is designed for failure more than it is success. It has to be, right? It has to adapt to the present moment immediately to survive. That's its foundation. You are an apex predator. Your ancestors were Tarzan, literally swinging through the jungle, maybe a little bit more violent than Tarzan. And it was some insane stuff. The exact same body that you're in right now. Is Iboga great? Never done it. So, yeah. Microdosing challenges. Intentionally getting frustrated with something that you enjoy doing and pushing beyond. You know, because that's the key moment. The key moment is the resistance, and then the mental commands that you choose to use to do something or to not do something. And in this way, anxiety and worry storming is a pseudo malfunction of the fight or flight response, activated through habitual negatively oriented thought and what if situations. What ifing ourselves into a chronic state of the fight or flight response. And then if that becomes our dominant reality, we don't have other neurology to go to. We don't have other places of tranquility to go to. Anyway, that's all I had to say. My phone is dying. Thanks for hanging out. I'll save the live stream just for a little while. You've been great. I've been Campton. Adios.